Hello, hello.
Hey Stacy, what's up?
How's it going?
Pretty good. Yeah. How about you?
All right. No major complaints.
What? Oh, that's weird. My wife said she can hear you. That's weird. Should just be going
Oh,
through my headphones here. Hmm. That's so odd. Shouldn't be able to. Guess I only have the two options. Hmm.
if she wanted to join us at any point, that's wonderful.
She has a big girl job, and so here, let me
Gotcha.
let me try some of those. All right, say something.
Testing, testing. Can you hear me now?
Okay, I don't think muting it helped at all. I think I just muted you completely. That's so weird. Yeah, let me try this. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Oh, cool. All right, now you're in my headphones. So we're good.
Awesome.
I think it was cord. Did you did you want to wait to start it for 12 minutes?
We can override that whenever we're ready, but I just like to I've actually not done it this way before. I'm kind of doing it backwards than I normally do it, so
Oh, that's cool.
but
Yeah, that's all good.
I think yeah. Think I know how to do everything. You would think I do this every month basically or every other week, and I feel like every time I can never remember how things work.
It's okay. I only mess stuff up in the group like every day. So it's all good.
Uh, okay, my family is telling me that I sent them the wrong link to join. So,
Oh, to like watch it live.
yeah. Let me see if I can fix that for them. Cuz I have a like maybe you saw it cuz you asked about it. I have the countdown going, so
If I copy and paste this link on here and post it in the group right now, is that the one to join or is that the one for me to jump in here?
no, that's for the guests. Yeah, that's for you as the guest. So let me see. Where is you would think
You think it?
oh,
Oh,
there it is.
oh,
Sorry, what was
oh
that?
shoot. Oh, nothing. I just hit a button.
Oh, okay. That looks right. Yeah, okay. I just sent that to them. So here I can text you or email you this shareable link.
Just email it because I'll
Email it.
copy and paste it from there.
Okay. Oops, not Google Gmail. Here we go. There we go. There's the shareable link. Should take them in.
say you emailed it?
Yes, just now.
It's not showing up. That's weird.
Uh-oh.
Let me check. Let me check my spam. There it is.
Okay, great. And I think last time I didn't get it to work on Instagram, but it looks like it's working on Instagram now too. So
Okay,
fingers
cool.
crossed.
Is this like one of those live streams that like goes across a bunch of platforms?
Yes. Or at least that's what I'm hoping for. Oh, hey, we got somebody. Sabrina Hill.
Yeah, yeah. Love Sabrina.
She's in the chat. Can you see the chat on your end?
Yeah, I can.
You can. Okay.
I can't write into it, but I can see it.
Get right to it. Okay. Can I do anything about that? No. Because it'd be great if you could. I mean, we'll be live. We can just talk about comments if we want to. We don't have to type
Yeah, that's
back,
fine.
but it'd be cool if you could. But I don't see how to do that. I feel like you should be able to do that.
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, let's see. Okay, so I do have a guest chat where I can chat privately with you and other guests, but I can't.
Okay.
Like, I bet you could probably comment or like message back the comment section, but like I can't do it.
Yes, I have a place to message back. Let's see. Interview. Customize.
Look at that. Look at all those people.
More than I had last time.
It's a group, you know. They're the most supportive people ever.
They are. They really are. I'm really excited about all the new stuff happening, and you've got a great community started here, Jake.
I appreciate it. Yeah, we're looking forward to it. You know, growing
Yeah,
but holding the
me
same
too.
level of community because it
Yeah,
doesn't really like none of it matters. If we got to 10,000 members and no one knew anyone, it wouldn't matter.
yeah, yeah. My sister says she can hear us talking in the live already, so I guess we'll just get rid of this countdown and go ahead and go.
That's fine. Glad I didn't say anything bad. You know?
Yeah, huh? Sorry about
I
that, guys. We'll just get going here. Let's get rid of this countdown. Here we are.
There we go.
All right. Hello and welcome everyone. As you heard us chatting already, so I'm Stacy, your Disney hotel lady, and with me today is the fabulous Jake Mays, the Disney Fit Coach. Thanks for
That's it.
taking the time today, Jake.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
And yes, if you are here with us live today, we do have the chat open. If you have any questions or comments for us while we're chatting, please don't hesitate to let us know, and we'll try and answer anything you have for us. But
Yeah, I'm really
first
good
off,
on my toes.
Jake, in case there's anybody watching or somebody who's watching the replay, if they don't know who you are and what you're all about, can you describe yourself for us a little bit? Tell us about your love for Disney and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, for sure. So, my wife actually made a post today about our Disney transformation, and it's pretty cool. It's like the butterfly effect thing, right? That everybody talks about. Like one little decision leads to a whole plethora of other things. And so, for us, we got married, and she told me that the only place she wanted to go for our honeymoon was Disney World, right? And I hadn't been since I was a kid, and when I was a kid, like full transparency, it wasn't, I didn't like it because I didn't like loud noises or fireworks or parades and crowds. Like really anything that Disney had, like, was not for me at the time. Plus, like, I was a huge Star Wars kid, but obviously they didn't own Star Wars at that point. Uh, when we got married, she wanted to go to Disney World. I didn't have anywhere else I wanted to go, so Disney World seemed good for me too. Like, I'll give it a try as an adult. And we probably had the best like collective 5-6 days of our life together. I mean, we had a blast. It was so immersive. It was just one of those moments that, like, walking into like Epcot and hearing the music, it just everything else in your life felt like there was no problems, right? It just everything just felt so nice, and everyone was so kind. The cast members were so great. I thought I didn't like roller coasters, and then I went to Disney, and I was like, no, I. Turns out I like roller coasters. I just don't like Six Flags. That makes you
Ah,
think that you could die on any roller coaster. Where like the queue is immersive, the ride is immersive, and it was just the care and like everything about Disney, the smell, the sound, the people. And so, I mean, literally from that point on, we had gone 2 to 3 times a year. Now we're annual pass holders at Disney World. We have our first Disney cruise coming up in January
yay.
for our 3-year wedding anniversary. So instead of going to Disney World this time, which we will for like a day or like two between the cruise, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
but it'll be our first Disney cruise, and we're gonna do that this time instead of like replicating our honeymoon. And so, yeah, we're really excited to make it out to Disneyland to see you guys, because I know that's
Yeah.
where you and a lot of your listeners probably are at. Because I'm a big Avengers guy. I don't know if you can see my Avengers tattoo. I was like a bit of a delay. Yeah, I got this nice Avengers tattoo on my arm, and I would love to see the big expansion for the campus coming up too.
Yeah.
Uh, so we don't know when we'll make it out, but we will.
All right. Well, yeah, you be sure and look me up when you're going, and we're gonna
Mhm.
make sure you have a great time. And congratulations on the anniversary and the first cruise. That's exciting. What ship are you gonna be on?
The Wish.
The Wish. Okay, I've heard good things about the Wish. Our first cruise is coming up in November too. We haven't done a Disney cruise yet, so we're excited.
What ship are you doing then?
We're doing the brand new one, the Destiny.
Oh, okay, cool. You on one of the inaugural sales?
We did actually make that. Yep. Got the inaugural maiden voyage.
Yeah, the merch for those are crazy cool.
I know. I keep telling my husband we're gonna take separate suitcases when we go to Tokyo Disney because of all the great merch over there. But I keep seeing all the merch for the cruise, and I'm like, oh no, he's gonna like kill me if I say we have to take a separate suitcase for that too.
No, you're good because in Tokyo it's all pennies on the dollar because
That
the yen's so much less. So you're good. Yeah,
that's true.
you're good. We just watched a Tokyo Disney vlog actually, and I mean there was tons of stuff that was like the equivalent of like $3 or $4 US.
yeah, and it's so cute too. It's like, how can you not? It's, it's amazing. Okay. Oh, somebody in the chat did the inaugural on the Wish. Brandy, that's amazing.
Oh, did you highlight that? I
Cause
thought Brandy did that. I was like, how does she do that?
no, that was me. That was me. And they sell
Todd's right. They do
suitcases.
sell. Yeah.
All right, that's good to know. Yes, that's good to know. Okay, so let's start with like the business side of things first, which for me is the hotels. So you're a veteran of Disney World. What do you like about the hotel scene over there in Florida?
I mean, honestly, just that. I mean, it would be silly to. I get it'd be silly to do this, but like you really could just hotel hop. Like you could resort hop for days, like and still probably not do everything that every resort has to offer. I mean, our we are not DVC members, but I we say Coronado Springs is like our home resort. It's just because that's where we stayed on our honeymoon. We've stayed there 2 or 3 times since, and they have a tower there now, which is, I mean, as much of a deluxe feel as any of the deluxe resorts we've stayed at, and it's moderate price. I mean, it's definitely more expensive than their old rooms, but not to the level that like the Grand Floridian would be or the Polynesian or anything. Uh, most times of the year, sometimes it's like weirdly expensive, which is odd. Like sometimes it's super affordable, and other times it's like weirdly expensive. So I would definitely say just the variety of it. Plus, you have like your monorail resorts, so you could literally stop off and shop at each monorail resort. Uh, and then you have your Skyliner resorts that you could ride the Skyliner around to. There's just so many cool like modes of transportation, and a lot of times, not like veteran Disney people probably, but a lot of like newer Disney people probably would even leave out somewhere like the boardwalk where I mean, you've got everything there already because, I mean, you're right on Epcot. So you could walk in and take the monorail to any monorail resort or the Magic Kingdom. You're right next to the Skyliner. So you could jump on the Skyliner and go to Hollywood Studios or any of the other Skyliner resorts. But if you just stayed on the boardwalk, you get like a beautiful scenery. They just opened that cake bake shop, or I say just opened, but I guess it's been open for a little while now. Uh, yeah, the ice cream store there. I mean, all the shopping you could want. They have bars. I know they just closed Jelly Rolls, but I mean, they have so much there, and you haven't even scratched the parks. So like, I mean, the resort
Mhm.
scene in Disney World. Obviously, I haven't been to Disneyland, but uh, I imagine it'd be pretty hard to beat. Even though the Disneyland hotels are classic, right? Like the Disneyland hotel specifically uh, is a classic, and just because of that, I think it would be really hard for a lot of the other ones to hold, that same candle to the Disneyland hotel. But the Disney World hotel just has such great variety.
Yeah, I agree. I agree for sure. And yeah, I totally think you should, not just could, you should resort hop if you can while you're there because yeah, they're attractions in and of themselves. Personally,
Oh yeah.
especially during holidays, when they have like the egg displays or the gingerbread houses and like you got to see some of that stuff.
Oh yeah, we just missed the gingerbread house in January when we were there. We don't actually know how many days we missed it by, but we were surprised because normally when we go for our honeymoon, the Christmas stuff is already taken down at Magic Kingdom, and we walked in and the big Christmas tree was still up and a lot of the decorations were still there. So we got their picture and everything. That was really cool, and we kept saying, I don't know why we didn't go that day, but we ended up going. Tried to go to the Grand Floridian the next day, and the gingerbread house was gone. So we're like, oh, we might have just missed it.
Yeah. Okay, so you said Coronado Springs, is that your favorite then? You call it your home resort?
Of the ones we've stayed at, sure. I don't know. I personally think that I could like the boardwalk more. It's just always so expensive. It's been hard for us to justify it.
Okay.
But only because like I said, you walk into Epcot, like it's literally the back entrance to Epcot, like backs up to the boardwalk. You're right next
Mhm.
to the Skyliner to go to Hollywood Studios, but you're also not that far of a walk from Hollywood Studios either. Uh,
Mhm.
Plus, I'm a big ice cream guy. I've heard they have milkshakes there, so like walking down from my hotel and grabbing a milkshake would be pretty cool. Uh, that's the other thing.
Yeah.
I know I'm a fitness coach. When I'm at Disney, I live it up. Come on, you know, you're gonna hear me talking about macros at Disney. I'm having fun.
Yeah, that's right. Beaches and Cream right there across from the boardwalk is. Yeah. Have you guys looked into renting DVC points for any of your trips yet?
Uh oh, just like renting them.
Just renting,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think we have a lot of them that we saw were queen bed rooms, and up until like very recently, we lived in an apartment and we had a queen bed, and so staying in a hotel with a king bed was like a treat for us. So
Right.
renting I apparently I'm a flailer when I sleep. That's what I heard. I don't know that because I'm never awake for it, but according to her, I flail. I don't know. Yeah, it depends if you believe her, but the, we never rented those points because it was like always a queen bed, and so we were like, it's like one of our little luxuries when we go. So uh, now that we live in a house and we have a king bed, I don't know that we would ever go back. So I don't know we'd ever take that step backwards. Todd, I can say whatever I want.
No, that's true though. And we we fell for it, you know. We're DVC members, so yeah, all the studios have queen beds. But once you get
Yeah.
to one bedroom and above, then you start seeing the king beds. So, but
Oh,
then
okay,
yeah,
okay.
that's more expensive too. So whether it's points or cash or whatever. So,
Yeah.
but yeah. Yes. Do you have what else do you like about you mentioned Coronado Springs? I personally have never stayed there, but I always hear great things about Coronado Springs. Like it's this hidden gem hotel and the grandest, tower there that you were talking about. What else do you like about that property?
Yeah, for sure. So this was kind of like a hidden thing. Apparently, my wife Ashley told me that they're actually doing away with this, which I don't personally like. So normally they upcharge for like a water view room, right? So they have this giant like man-made pond back there, lake, whatever you want to call it, and most of the time they charge more for the water view room. Flailing, yeah, all right, Todd, whatever. uh, and so, but on the other side is supposed to be like the view of the parking lot, right? But when you go up high enough, you can see all of Disney World from there because Coronado Springs is like pretty centrally located. Uh, so that was another point I was going to make. Like, even though they only have the buses, they don't have any other like cool modes of transportation.
Mm-hmm.
All the bus rides are like 10 minutes or less or something. I mean, they're really close to every single park. Uh, and so, but from our room that we had in January, we could see Tower of Terror, we could see Epcot, we could see Swan and Dolphin, we could see Galaxy's Edge. We weren't on the right part to see Magic Kingdom, but we could see basically everything else. So
Wow.
that view to me was way better than just a water view. Like I can see water anywhere. I can see a lake wherever I am, but
It's
I'm there
Florida.
to see. Yeah, right. I'm there to see the sights, and so it was a cheaper room rate because people want like the water view, but I was totally happy paying less money to see all of Disney World all at once.
Yeah, yeah. That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
So you mentioned you haven't Coronado you like of the ones you've stayed at. How many do you know how many you've stayed at compared to the total number of properties there?
Oh, I like a handful compared to like
A
all
handful.
the ones that are there. Yeah. One that I think is probably a hot take. I know people have been in the group, they know I
Okay.
love hot takes, but uh, we stayed at Animal Kingdom Lodge, and that's usually people's like dream resort. Right? That's the one that they like absolutely love, and I get why, right? Like seeing a giraffe in the morning is pretty cool, right? Like you probably don't get to do that too often anywhere else. Uh, but it was so far from everything except for Animal Kingdom, obviously. Animal Kingdom was 30 seconds away, but I think one night we were trying to get to a dinner reservation at Disney Springs, and it took like 30 minutes or something to get all the way over from Animal Kingdom Lodge to Disney Springs. And, I don't want to waste a second, while we're there. And so I don't want to spend a ton of time on the bus,
Mm-hmm.
especially for it to not have, obviously monorail or Skyline or anything else. So you were just relying on the bus. I didn't stand on the balcony enough at the animals to like justify paying more money for the deluxe resort and being really far away from all the parks, except for
Mm-hmm.
obviously Animal Kingdom. Uh, so that's why we probably wouldn't stay there again. Uh, but
Mm-hmm.
like I totally get why people like it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we that's my husband's favorite because he'll get up early before I get up or while I'm getting ready, and he'll take his coffee out on the balcony and he'll watch the animals and everything. So, but yeah, I agree. If you're not in your room enough to see the animals, it is, and the long ways, the hallways get really long at the end of a park day.
Yeah, they
So,
are pretty long. So we actually stayed. That was actually my wife's like biggest complaint was we stayed. It wasn't so the walk wasn't bad. We stayed. It was just literally you walk in. There's a little staircase to the right. As soon as you walked in, you go up the staircase, and then we're like the next kind of like floor over. So it wasn't really a lot of steps. It
nice.
wasn't that far of a walk, but we were right. Our hotel room door faced the lobby, and there was like no soundproofing whatsoever. So whatever was happening
Yeah.
in the lobby, we could hear in our room. And so later at night, it was just so loud and shit. Like
Mm,
some nights, obviously when you're trying to go to sleep, like you don't want to hear people screaming like in the lobby and stuff, which I get. It's the end of a long day. Probably
yeah.
best day of some kids' lives, and then it's got to end, and they're upset about it, and I totally get that. I want to scream and cry all the time, but in a hotel room, people are trying to go to sleep. It's tough.
Yeah, yeah, that's the double-edged sword is if requesting a room close to the lobby would be my like tip for not avoiding the long hallways, but then yeah, you get that on the other end. So, if you're not sensitive to noise, maybe it's okay. Otherwise you got to deal with the walk, but yeah. Have you stayed ever not in the bubble at Disney World? Have you stayed kind of in one of the Disney Springs areas or the Good Neighbor off, kind of on property but off? Have you stayed at any of those?
I haven't, and I
Okay.
don't foresee us doing that. The bubble's just too enticing,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think the closest we would ever get to like a non Disney would be the Swan and Dolphin. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and that's just because I'm kind of into credit card points and stuff like that. And so
Yeah.
obviously, like it's a Marriott resort, and for anyone who doesn't follow credit card points, Marriott's point system sucks, but it's still better than paying full price. Or especially if you're trying to get there on a budget and you want more money for souvenirs and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
You can definitely make it work with Marriott. But like Hyatt's point system is phenomenal, and Marriott's point system is garbage.
That's a good point. Yeah, Swan and Dolphin, and the new one is Swan Reserve. I think those are all Marriott properties, but they are on Disney World property, right in that Crescent. Not is that Crescent Lake? There, where
Yeah, so there's a little pathway to the boardwalk from there too.
yeah,
So especially
Boardwalk
if you didn't
Beach
want to pay
Club.
boardwalk prices, but like you wanted to still kind of be right there, you could use points. And I'm pretty like I haven't walked it myself, but I've seen videos, and I mean it's gosh, not even 50 yards away. I mean it's really close.
Yeah, it's all super close. That's what we stayed our very first trip with my husband and I. We stayed at Beach Club, and we had a park hopper, and he was so thankful and grateful that we did, because that meant even when we came back for like a break or at the end of the evening, if Epcot was still open, he could walk into Epcot, go over to the Germany pavilion, grab a beer, and bring it back
Yeah,
to the hotel. So he he really liked that.
that's so
But
funny.
yeah, that's a great area. One of the other creators I just interviewed, that's her favorite area, is that Boardwalk Beach Club, Swan and Dolphin area. And my other friend, Lou at WWD Radio, he loves to go. I don't remember now if it's Swan or Dolphin, or if it even makes a difference, but they have, I guess, like their own little food and wine festival every year. And he
Oh,
says that's really good. So
that's
I have
cool. I didn't
not
know that.
experienced that, but yeah, try it out. My friend Lou recommends it. So, okay, then let's move on to fitness. Tell us, since you're the Disney Fit coach, tell us about how you're working Disney Flair into a fitness routine and program.
We don't have to. We can just talk about Disney if you want. You know, we don't have to talk about fitness.
Oh, we want to talk a little bit
No,
about
it's
it.
okay. No, it's okay. Yeah. So it kind of depends on the section, I guess, right? So like some of it's just like naming, a little bit, but a lot of it is just bringing a lot of people together with a similar goal, who a lot of times struggle with the same stuff. So one of the big things we hear about, and one of the things that we're the most scared about happening, is one of the most magical parts about Disney is the memories, right? And a lot of people, when they get to this point in their health, and they like, maybe they need help with whatever it is. I mean, sometimes losing weight, sometimes it's just getting stronger, sometimes it's just having more energy for the for the park day. And you pay all this money and you bring your family to this place, and you get to the point where you can't create the memories that you really want to, because your kids are ready to keep going, but like you're gassed and you absolutely can't take another step, and you're looking at 10,000 more steps before the day's over. And I've been a fitness coach for a long time, and I never found the most passion for coaching until we started doing something like this, because I just love Disney, and I love all of you guys in the group, and you guys helped me and all of us find a passion for doing this again. And it's just became easy to incorporate the Disney stuff into it when we all have such a similar love for this thing, this whatever it is. It's Marvel, it's Star Wars, it's classic Disney, Pixar, and it's just been really fun to incorporate it all, whether it's specific park style workouts, Disney themed challenges, or just, I mean, straight up giving it a more fun name than just the boring fitness name it already had.
Yes. I I have to say it is motivating for me anyway. I'm part of the group, and the group is super super supportive. Like if you were listening to us, overhearing us earlier, it's a great little group, and I think it's very motivating too when you add the challenges with the giveaways. That is, I mean, there's a whole other app based on getting paid, right, to lose weight, like that bet challenge or whatever. I forget what it's called, but this is, for
Oh
me
yeah.
as a Disney adult, Disney lover, a much better motivation than just straight cash.
Oh yeah, yeah. We played with a lot of different stuff, and so yeah, for, I mean, those who are interested, like we do a one-on-one challenge. So that's more of like personal training stuff. So it's you're still in the group, but this is more of a completion. So it's consistency challenge of completing 80% of your program, and then at the end winning $3,000 to go to Disney World. And then along with our group challenges, which are 3,500 for one person, but you're kind of competing against everybody else in the group, so it's still very motivating. Uh, but obviously, we're trying to have a lower buried entry and stuff for that as well. So we always keep the group really affordable, because we never want people to not get help. That was one of the hardest parts about doing personal training solely without the group, was there's so many people that need help and really want help. but I mean, realistically, it's hard times. Like, economy's not great. People are barely affording to go to Disney once every 3 years. Much less pay for a personal trainer, like in that kind of time as well. And we just want to give people an option that wasn't, it was either getting to go to Disney once every 3 years to create those memories with their kids, or having a trainer. We just made it to where you could have this really low cost thing to, talk with us, get support from other people, participate in some cool challenges. And yeah, eventually, if you want to do personal training, like, we'd love to talk to you, but it's definitely not something you ever have to do or ever even show interest in. We just, want to be sure that you're getting the help that you need, so that when you can afford to go to Disney, or when you can make those memories with your kids and your family, there's nothing holding you back.
That's amazing. I love it. Yeah. No need to choose trainer or Disney when you could potentially have both. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah. So, before we move on, I just want to give you one more little plug. T-shirt,
We have a Spirit jersey coming.
Spirit jersey coming. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Magical Transformations is the group, and then from the group you can, I'm sure separate from the group too, but you can talk to Jake about more one-on-one and fitness journey stuff.
Yeah.
So,
Or you can just talk with me about Marvel. I'm pretty pumped about the
Marvel, yeah.
direction they've gone.
I was gonna say, here's my May 4th is Sunday, so here's my Star
Yes.
Wars. Star Wars. Let's talk about Star Wars first, and then we'll talk about Marvel.
Let's do it.
I know you were really excited for the anniversary of Revenge of the Sith. Is that your favorite?
Yeah, we went.
Wars? Yeah.
Oh, for
Yeah.
sure. We have by a mile.
Is it your favorite because of nostalgia, like when it came out, or another reason?
Oh, sorry. I just nailed something. Sorry. Yeah, so for sure the nostalgia. Like, for sure. I wanted to be Anakin so bad. Like, so bad I wanted to be Anakin, but I always thought Luke was kind of a nerd, but Anakin was like cool, he was like he was kind of like a rebel. Not like, I'm not being punny, but like he was, he was cool. He was kind of like, had that dark side to him. But I think it is I don't think it's a debatable statement to say that it had the best lightsaber dueling action of any movie so far. And it almost drives me nuts because it feels like Disney took a step backwards with the lightsaber dueling. Like, Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen, it's like Obi-Wan and Anakin, like, they really killed it. Like, no stunt doubles, nothing. They put together the best display of lightsaber dueling they've ever done. And then instead of taking that baton and going further with it, you see it all the time on Instagram. They'll stitch together that scene with Kylo Ren and Rey finally dueling, and it's just this weird contrast of like, just no real moves. Just, I think he maybe swings at Rey and she like flies backwards or something like that. It's like, it's just a weird thing.
Yeah, it's not the same,
No.
unfortunately. I don't know what to do about that. Disney, Star Wars, Lucasfilm, Kathleen Kennedy, John Favreau, whoever, if you're listening, can't we do something about that?
Well, I think Kathleen Kennedy's gone. I think she just left, or she got fired or stepped down. I don't know what happened.
Did she? Oh, I didn't hear that yet. Okay, so, but I'm loving all the new series on Disney Plus. Of course, Mandalorian is huge, and Andor season 2 just came out. Did you get a chance to watch any of that yet?
I've watched a lot of The Mandalorian. I haven't watched Andor yet.
Okay.
Rogue One took a couple. So again, you got to hear me out on this, but like, I know objectively Rogue One is a good movie. I know that. I was so disappointed every time they don't feature Darth Vader enough or lightsaber dueling enough. It just like makes me sad because I feel like they just miss another opportunity. Like, so that's why I was like, just when Andor came out, I wasn't like rushing to watch it because of Rogue One.
Rogue One.
But then Rogue One added that scene at the end where Vader like annihilates everybody on the Rebel ship. And I'm
Hmm.
like, guys, you should have done that the whole time. Like this should be. There's a whole comic book series about the 20 years between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope. If Disney would make that
Oh,
into a
okay.
show, they'd make $1 billion. I mean, they would make so much money. It doesn't make any sense why they won't make it.
I'm not familiar with the comic book. What's that called?
Well, I mean, it's literally just like the Darth Vader comic books. I don't
Okay.
exactly know if they have like a name, but they,
Okay.
as far as I know, that and the ones I've seen, they just say Darth Vader on them.
Okay, all right. Well, my husband's looking for comic books, so maybe he'll be into that. He did like Rogue One.
Hmm.
I was not a huge. I mean, it was fine, but I
Yeah, it
just
was fun.
it's fine. It's my same thing for Andor. I'm like, I already know what the end outcome for these characters. I already know part of their story,
Yep.
so the in between, I'm not as interested in. That's just me personally,
That,
like.
that's kind of what I said when it came out. I was like, I just don't know that we like needed to see this. Like I'm not saying it was bad. I was just like,
Yeah.
I wasn't that
Yeah.
invested in how they got the Death Star plans. Like, I'm just glad they have them. I guess.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I am happy to have been introduced to another robot. So I
Yeah.
always love
Right.
the robots. And
Droid.
Alan, droids. Yes, not robots, the droids. Pardon me, excuse me. Um, um, Alan, I always forget how to say his name properly, but he does all the voices. Disney. I think he's Hey Hey and Moana, and he's the droid in
Oh wow.
Rogue One, and Alan Tudyk. To he's amazing. We love him in this household, like in everything that he does. So anything with him in it, we're gonna watch anyway. So whether it's just his voice or if he's actually playing a full full body role, or not a voice actor, but anyway, so happy May the 4th. May the 4th be with you to all those that celebrate. Let's talk about Marvel now for a little bit.
Sure. I could
As
talk about Marvel for 10 hours, so be careful
the
the topic
get
you bring up.
let's open the gates for you. Lots of, yeah, exciting things coming to Disneyland. I saw Red Guardian's gonna start meeting tomorrow in Avengers Campus.
Yep.
That's
I did see that.
amazing. I'm
Hmm.
excited for that. I hope he's still there. I don't go back until the end of May, but I hope he's still there because I kind of love Red Guardian just because of David Harbour playing
Yeah,
him.
right.
He did such a great job. So, but and Thunderbolts also comes out tonight,
Today?
tomorrow, today.
Yep.
You haven't seen it yet?
No,
Are you
we have
going
tickets
to
on
see it?
Saturday.
Saturday.
It's
Okay.
it's tough to make it to the late movies during the week.
Yeah.
But we have like early afternoon tickets on Saturday, and all they need to do for me to love that movie is to keep it about the story, right? Like sometimes I feel like it kind of ventures off into like weird places it doesn't need to go, and then they need to really start tying things together, right? I feel like they just
Yeah.
wasted some really great characters, and it's not all their fault, right? Because like Bob Chapek was a nightmare of like the Disney CEO, and then they obviously were going the Kang direction for a while, and
Hmm.
then they backpedaled on that because of Jonathan Major's arrest. And then I heard he
Yeah.
might come back because they found him innocent. I think I don't remember, but I heard maybe he might come back for like, the first scene of Avengers Doomsday. And
Hmm.
well, I've heard that Avengers Doomsday is going to open with Robert Downey Jr.'s Victor Von Doom killing the Council of Kangs and like all of the Kang variants, and so that's how they're gonna like get rid of Kang and then set Robert Downey Jr. up as like the big bad for his own movie and then Secret
Hmm.
Wars after that.
Okay. Well, we'll have to see how if that plays out the way we're hearing.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
Bottom line, like they need to tie some stuff together because like they wasted Moon Knight. Like Moon Knight was a great character. They've done nothing with him. Shang-Chi, we haven't seen him in like 3 years or four
I don't.
years or something.
Yeah.
And he was great, you know?
Yeah, he was. I really
Spider-Man,
liked him.
it's been way too long since we've had a Spider-Man movie. I did hear,
Yeah.
I don't know if you watched Daredevil, but I did hear that in the final episode, in one of the last scenes, I think when he's talking to Karen about like forming an army, apparently they did play the Spider-Man music in the background of one of those scenes.
They
I
did.
haven't gone back and listened to it yet, but
Yeah.
Tanya, if you're watching, she sent me those clips on Facebook. So that was how I got to see it, but I didn't hear it the
Mm,
first time.
yeah, I think I subconsciously noticed it because then when people started going crazy about it, I was like, "Oh yeah, they did do that, didn't they?" Like, "Oh, it just didn't click. It's just so." But
But it's definitely hard because
yeah.
yeah, I'm a big fan of the comics, and I've read some, I've listened to a lot of them on like audiobook and stuff. If you've never audiobooked a comic, it's awesome. By the way, they
Okay.
have different voice actors doing different parts. They have a lot of them even have like the sound effects of what's happening. So it's almost like listening to a movie. Like it really is.
Awesome.
Which sounds counterintuitive, I suppose, but it is cool when you do it. So, but like from the hard part about the movies versus the comics is, the comic book characters are just characters they draw, right? Like the movies have actors, they have, they have money demands, they have agendas, they have producer credits, they have like all this crazy stuff that just muddies the water of, what we want to see as fans. And so it is hard. Like, uh, there was so many parts of like the Infinity War comics that didn't end up happening in Infinity War and Endgame movies. Uh, but simply because I mean they were already at like the biggest budget a movie has ever needed ever, so like they couldn't
Yeah.
possibly add another $100 million to add these characters that also, and they also needed different movies to like build their story arcs to like make sense in the movie. And so uh you're always going to have some of that, right? There's no getting rid of
Yeah.
that, but it does lessen
Yeah.
it sometimes a little.
It does. But it doesn't matter if it's Marvel or Star Wars or just, your regular novel. It's practically a universal truth that the book is always better because it's just, you can't have, unless you're making a TV series, you can't have a 4-hour movie just to do justice to the book. So uh, it's just the differences between, reading the material or watching it, there's limits on each medium. So
Yeah.
they they hopefully do the best they can.
I'm sure they will. And like, again, just to bring it back to like Thunderbolts and stuff. I mean, I've already heard, and this isn't a spoiler for anybody who's watching this or watching this back, if you haven't seen it, I've heard that the second post credit scene is the longest post credit scene Marvel's ever done. So it's like almost 3 minutes long, which is pretty long for a post credit scene
Yeah.
considering they're like 30 seconds normally.
Yeah.
Uh, and it's supposed to like blow the doors off of everything and start like tying stuff together, right? So I hope that's true. We did
Good.
kind of get one at the end of Captain America Brave New World,
Mm-hmm.
uh, which I saw this today. I don't know if it's true, but apparently Captain America Brave New World was the last Disney movie greenlit by Bob Chapek. Uh, and then literally as soon as that one uh, was over, like everyone's saying now that like Marvel's back, like now that that guy's like scent is kind of gone from all of everything that he had greenlit during his tenure, uh now everything's going to go back to like the way we loved Marvel before.
Okay. Yeah, I've heard them say Thunderbolts is the best movie since Endgame. So I'm like, that seems kind of high praise right now. I think I have to reserve judgment until I actually see it because I don't want to put my expectations here and then it's really only here. So then I
Yeah.
feel, disappointed, but I'm still excited to see it. But
No,
yeah,
me too.
and Doom,
And
go
go.
ahead, go ahead.
I was just, like, people, as soon as Endgame was over, right? Like, one of the other ones we got was No Way Home, right? Which was
Mhm.
amazing too for its own reasons. Uh, there was some parts of me was like, I think they released them maybe out of order, like, because what they should have done was take us back into like that kind of rebuilding period. But they came out swinging with No Way Home, and then they came out swinging again with Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness and all the cameos of like the Fantastic Four and the X-Men and Captain Carter, and like all that was really cool. But
Mhm.
then they kind of just like sort of fell off a little bit. They came out with Secret Invasion, which was
Mhm.
terrible. We can just call it what it is. It was awful, and
I didn't
they
mind
like
it.
they like randomly introduced the most powerful Marvel character of all time with Amelia Clark's character, and they're just
Yeah.
never going to talk about her again. Like, we're just going to have to pretend like she died or something. So that
Yeah.
was weird. We maybe sort of got hinted at that Rhodey wasn't Rhodey when Tony died. And like that kind of takes away from Endgame a little bit. Like, why did you write that? Like,
Yeah.
you could have just explicitly said it was after Endgame, and we all would have been good with it, I guess. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's just a lot of weird
Yeah.
stuff.
It is. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I'm just like sometimes, not all the time. Sometimes I'm just like I just want to see a good story with familiar characters, and it's not so important to me that things are all connecting or making sense, cuz I'm just in that mindset or mental that I just need to focus on something else. And then yeah, then there's the other times where it's like no, everything needs to fit together. And so I feel like yeah, Secret Invasion, I didn't mind it just cuz I like Samuel L. Jackson and Nick Fury.
Yeah.
And I like the oh, for heaven's sake, I just forgot the name of that species, but the ones that can change the shapeshifter guys. But I like those guys. And I was really, really upset though that they killed
Oh, Kobe
what's your
Smolder.
face? Yes, I was really upset they
Yeah.
killed her like right off the bat. I was like, come on, there's so few women superheroes, and she's not even a superhero. She's just a regular like soldier woman, and they had to kill her. I was like, come on.
Well, this is where the whole actor thing kind of comes back in. She didn't want to keep doing it, so
Yeah.
they needed to kill her off so that they didn't have to keep bringing her back. But the one thing, and everyone knows this in the comics, like this is when they announced Robert Downey Jr., non-comic book fans were all mad because they were like, "Well, now his death is meaningless." If you're a comic book fan, you know no one's ever dead except
This is true.
except
Yeah.
except for Uncle Ben. Uncle Ben is
Right.
dead for sure. He never comes back in anything, but everyone else is fair game. And so the Scarlet Witch
Yeah.
is still alive. Tony's
Mm-hmm.
still alive somewhere. Like, no one's actually dead. Uh,
Never.
and
Never.
so Kobe Smulders, she could come back in Secret Wars or something. She might. I mean, you never know.
Yeah.
But
You never know.
yeah, she
But I
she
thought
was done.
they didn't have to. I feel like it, as you said, in a superhero world, why do you have to kill somebody? Why can't it be like they invent some strange reason for her to get powers and she goes off and joins? Because we haven't seen Captain Marvel like hardly at all. So why can't she just be off with Captain Marvel somewhere doing stuff with Guardians, or I don't know, like why'd she have to die to get rid of her? You know what I mean?
Well, because it had to give Nick Fury like weight. It had to give him weight to like how bad of decisions he was making and how he needed to, go rogue or like make this change to like make Secret Invasion, I guess, make sense. I don't know. I mean, truthfully, no, they didn't have to kill her. I mean, they could have done whatever they wanted, but Maria Hill in the comics has a much bigger role. So in the comics, Maria Hill is actually the one who spearheads uh, it's not the Sokovia Accords in the comics, like with Civil War, where they like Cap and Iron Man split up.
Mm-hmm.
It's called the Superhero Registration Act, and they are making superheroes register their secret identities, And so no one's allowed to have a secret identity. So even like Spider-Man that's how people find out that he's Spider-Man, Peter Parker,
Uh-huh.
is because he's on Tony's side and Tony's for the Superhero Registration Act and Cap is obviously against it. It's the same premise where like they're only allowed to go fight something if the government tells them they're allowed to go fight it. But
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't technically like the Sokovia Accords in that it was like I said, they had to like register all their identities and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Mm, okay.
But she spearheaded that. Sorry, I forgot why I said that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's interesting. Yeah, I'm apologize to all the super fans out there. I'm not the comic book reader fan. I am gonna try, now that you said that, I'm gonna try an audio one because that sounds fun. But I'm not against it. I just like there's so many. I feel like it would take all of my strength and energy and effort to keep up with comic books. Like there's so many.
Yeah, there's a ton. And honestly, like it's like there's a lot of them where you could probably just see like movie sort of related ones. Like the Civil War comic is an audiobook on Amazon Audible, and that's where I listen to it. And you generally get the gist, from like the movies, what's going on. So that's an easy
Okay.
one to just kind of jump into, and like I said, it's pretty fun with the sound effects and everything. The
Okay.
characters are different, just like as a warning, the characters are definitely different,
Okay.
but it's still pretty easy to follow. I'm sorry, I think someone might knock on
Okay.
the door, so if my dog barks, I apologize.
Oh, that's okay.
We're good.
If we can sidestep just for a moment, my poor girl, she's just over a year. We just had her spayed this week, so she's all.
Oh gosh.
If you hear whimpering, nothing bad
Yeah.
is happening. She's just. uh yeah, but yes, no, I'm a big enough fan that yes, I've seen all the things. We eventually in the theater, at home, wherever, COVID, no COVID, we're watching all the superhero things because we're loving that. We love that. I love that. Did you hear? So this just popped into my head because I said we're loving that, and I changed to I love that. When we got married, my husband and I th- I had the impression that he was he matched my nerd, but it turns out he doesn't. Are you and your wife on like the same level fandom wise?
Yes and no. So yes, I think she's a bigger Disney nerd, which I know sounds funny, but because I'm like the Disney fit coach or whatever. But I am huge Star Wars, Marvel nerd, and
Okay.
we do rival each other's nerddom, but a lot of times she hits me with fun facts I didn't know about Disney, and I'll hit her with a fun fact she didn't know about Star Wars or Marvel. And a lot of times they're not even fun facts; they're just weird, parts of
Random.
things that I know that she didn't need to know, and I don't think she wanted to know them. But I'll tell her anyway because it's like an itch. If I don't get it out, it just festers.
Yeah, yeah, we're like that. My husband's uh he's a big Star Wars guy. Big Star Wars. He reads the books and everything. And
Yeah.
I read a couple, like pre marriage. I read a couple. I was that big of a fan too, but like I said, it's just gotten to too much to keep up with everything. But then we went I we went to Universal Fan Fest nights on our last trip, and there's a Star Trek experience there. And before we got married, my husband had never ever seen a Star Trek movie. And when I found that out, I was appalled. And we immediately had to watch like all of them because I'm like, it's Star Trek. You have to know Star Trek.
Yeah, they teach Klingon at colleges, right?
Yeah, come on. But I say that now too because I think at this point now I might have more knowledge of Marvel than he does, because
Mhm.
that's kind of like my calm down my brain down at night, is I'll watch on Disney Plus, all these series now, like the Marvels,
Yeah, the
the
assemble stuff.
Punishers, and yeah, all that stuff, all that. So he doesn't
The
know as much about like Daredevil, like we were talking about. And
the Punisher's your wind down show.
I know that sounds so weird, doesn't it?
No, no, I'm actually rewatching The Punisher right now, so I totally get it.
Yeah, yeah, like yeah. I think I'm in Luke. I'm almost done with Jessica Jones, and I'm just starting into
Mm.
Luke Cage now too. So just
Have you ever seen them, or are they the? Is this your first watch
I
of those?
I thought I had seen them when they aired, but I maybe I didn't. Maybe I just thought, oh, I need to, because I don't remember any of it so far. So I thought I
Yeah, Luke
had,
Cage
but
is pretty slow.
yeah, but that is a good looking man, so I don't
He
really
is. No,
mind.
for sure. I agree.
I don't care if it's slow. He's just nice to look at. So
He his show's slow, but it ends really good. Jessica Jones was solid. Like for season one was solid. I don't think I even saw season two. But season one was very good. Daredevil's
yeah.
always good. And then Iron Fist is rough. It's not the best, but the Defenders show with all of them, I think is pretty good.
Okay. Yeah, I heard Iron Fists was not well liked.
It was okay. I mean, for to make the Defenders make sense, it was okay. Uh, but yeah, I've never had a inkling to rewatch it ever.
All right. All right. I'll bear that in mind.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Doomsday, though. We brought it up a little bit earlier. I'm really like that promo, that preview they did just with the chairs and the actors' names. I
Yep.
got so excited about. I was watching it in the car on our way to Costco when it
Yeah,
first
yeah.
came out, and I gasped and squealed so much that I practically scared my husband off the road. We had to
It was
watch it again
exciting.
in the parking lot. And then I had to explain it to him, because he's terrible with the names of like actors and everything. So I had to explain,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
this actor means this character is coming. And but yeah, I'm really excited to see more X-Men. I was really excited. I I didn't want to like Deadpool just
Why?
because just because of the like how do I even explain it? I'm not a big R rated movie
Oh,
person.
oh, yeah.
So in that
That's
in
fair.
that general vein, I didn't want to like him, but when I finally watched it, I was like, "Oh man, I like it. He's funny."
Yeah,
So
it's great.
when he did get to team up with Wolverine, I was really excited, because I'm like, "More X-Men, please." Yes. Till you're 90.
They
Yes.
well, they've just owned the IP for way too long to like just now started doing it. That's kind of what I was talking about with the Chapek stuff. It's just like, what are you doing, guys? Like, you have so many great characters, and you're just veering off into these weird places. And it's kind of like the Darth Vader thing for me, where I was like, if you would just do this, like if you would just make the show, you'd make $1 billion. You know, like if you would just incorporate the X-Men earlier, and they kind of hinted at it with Miss Marvel at the very end. They called her a mutant,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then they never talked about it again. You know, and you're like, if you would just make this make sense with the IP people actually like, more you would make more money. But instead, you just keep making these weird shows and these weird characters that we don't need in this at all. Even in Daredevil, this doesn't spoil anything if you haven't seen it. They forced that weird bank robbing episode where Kamala Khan's dad was in it,
Hmm.
which like no other character from the entire Daredevil show was in it. It was just Daredevil meeting Kamala Khan's dad, and it felt very forced. Like it felt like this weird, like, hey, remember this is intertwined, you know, like because it didn't tie into like any other part of the show. It was just weird. It was a weird episode. But to your point, yeah,
Yeah.
Doomsday, I'm really pumped about. But the Fantastic Four in July, I am
Yeah.
so excited about because it's obviously really close.
Yeah.
But yeah, my only thing would be don't mess this up. Except I would use a more explicit word. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. The it almost completely went unnoticed by me, but they did remake the Fantastic Four already. And I watched
Yeah.
that on Disney Plus a few months ago, a year ago, and I was like,
Mhm.
why did we like what was wrong with I mean, they'd remake everything, so whatever, but I'm like,
Well,
yeah, this didn't come out that great.
there's a funny like little known fact about the Fantastic Four that I so there's a book called MCU, and it's literally, I mean, about them making the Marvel Cinematic Universe and all the movies that came before it. And there's another Marvel Comics book where I learned kind of a little bit about this movie that came out in like the 80s. And I don't remember which production company it was, but somebody owned the movie rights to the Fantastic Four, but the technology didn't really exist to make it because like you can't really make
Mm,
Reed Richards look like he's stretching. You can't really make Johnny look like he's on fire, you know?
yeah. Yeah.
And so, but if they didn't make a movie with it in the first like 10 years or 5 years or something, they would lose the rights. It's kind of like the Sony deal with Spider Man.
Mm,
And so they made a Fantastic Four movie in the 80s, and it was on like $100,000 budget. It was unwatchable, one of the worst movies ever made, and they never intended for anyone to see it. But it circulated online, I think a year ago or something. Somebody found it, and apparently
mm,
it's the worst movie you could ever imagine. And so they got another chance, obviously in the 2000s with Chris Evans and them. Jessica Alba, I think, was the Invisible Woman.
yeah.
It wasn't bad, but they again, I don't know, it looked better, but they totally butchered Galactus and made him a cloud when he needs to be like the big, celestial being that eats planets. And so overall, I think they're going to do a good job this time around with Pedro Pascal
Hmm.
and everybody. But I
Yeah.
do hope we get in Doomsday. I hope we get to see the variants of a lot of those other ones, like Michael B. Jordan and Miles Teller, as their characters from their again abysmal Fantastic Four remake. It was awful. They didn't even get their powers till the last like 30 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
And I was like, how are they going to wrap this? We've been watching for over an hour and they don't even have powers yet.
Yeah.
It's only like a 90-minute movie.
Yeah. Yeah. But otherwise, I think they're great actors. So yeah, if they do the cameo thing, that would be awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree.
Okay. Well, we're getting right around the time I usually wrap up. I don't go too long. Go try and keep things about an hour. I don't want to take up too much more of your time, Jake. But is there anything else that we should chat about before we sign off? Anybody have any questions in the chat? I know some of you got off already, but anybody have any questions for Jake or myself in the chat? I think I don't think I saw any questions per se. Everybody's just chatting together. Let me go back through and see.
Yeah, we definitely touched on everything, I think, from all the Disney IPs to fitness. And yeah, I just,
Yeah,
if nobody has a question, I just really appreciate you having me on. And, I would love to do it again when you want me to come back. If you want me to come back.
that would be awesome. It was fun. Yeah, it was fun. Thanks everybody who joined us live for all your comments and side discussions in the chat. That's always appreciated too, and makes things for us, more engaging and fun. So, yeah, thanks for being here. Yeah, we can definitely do it again sometime sooner than later. And
Cool.
so, thanks for watching, everybody. Once again, my name is Stacy. I'm your Disney Hotel lady. My guest today was Jake, the Disney Fit coach. If you would like to learn more about his fitness group and his coaching services, I will add those to the show notes once we get finished here. And of course, you can find my website, DisneyHotelLady.com, where you can find reviews. So far, mostly Disneyland area. I have a few Disney Worlds sprinkled in there. But yeah, thanks for joining us. And thank you, Jake.
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye, y'all.